Hello everyone. Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to use the simple pause micro module. So I'm going to highlight it here. It's very simple. First, we're going to have to create a canvas. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to create a canvas. When you create a canvas for the first time, if you don't have an event system, one will be created for you. So we're going to go quickly to it and we're going to change the button here that says replace with input system. That's so that we can actually use it with the new input system. Like this is not new anymore. All right, so once we have the canvas, we're gonna set it to screen space overlay. That's perfect. I like to change the scale with screen, and I like to set it to 1920 by 1080 with matching to 1. Now for the pause, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add here the component pause UI. I'm going to set the transition time to 0.25. That's mostly so that it has that audio effect. If you're playing music or something, it stops the music with a nice effect to it. You can set it to 0 so it pauses immediately. This is essentially how I like it. All right, so that's the canvas being prepared. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to rename it, call it pause overlay or pause UI, or it's up to you really how you want to pause it or how you want to call it. The next thing is I'm going to set this to 2D. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to go press F so I zoom into it. I'm going to right click on it. I am going to add a game creator UI button, and I'm going to call this button resume. So btn resume. So this button is going to have the resume label, and on it I'm going to remove this action and I'm going to add pause. I'm going to say none, and I'm going to set it to close so that way it unpauses the game. Alright, so that's well and good. I'm going to go back to this demo. I'm going to drag the pause overlay as a prefab and I'm going to delete it out of here. Alright, so now I'm going to go and create a new trigger here. So the trigger, I'm going to call it um, trigger pause, and change the um, trigger type to input. I'm going to set it to on input button. I'm going to change this to usage, and then I'm going to choose pause. So pause by default, by the way, that is part of the Simplet extensions. I believe I've mentioned this in the past, but I'll just reiterate here. It's inside of input and it will be this item here. So it is currently configured to use on a gamepad to start or on a keyboard escape. All right, so pause, and then in here I'm gonna create a condition. Where are the conditions? Visual scripting condition. I'm gonna call it condition pause. All right, so the first condition I'm gonna name it here. So pause, and then I'll look for pause. Is pause UI open? So I'm gonna say if it's not open, then pause UI, open it, and I'm gonna select the UI that we created here. So if it's not pause, then it's gonna open the pause UI, which is gonna automatically pause. All right, so I'm gonna clone this condition, and I'm gonna say on resume. The name is not too relevant. You can name it whatever you want, but I like to name it like that so it's easy. And I'm gonna uncheck this, and I am going to change this to close. Once you set this to close, it doesn't really matter what you set this to. I could have this with a pause overlay or with none. It would still work. All right, I'm gonna save the scene. I'm gonna go back to 3D. I'm gonna focus on my character, F to zoom into it, and I'm gonna go to the game UI and I'm gonna click on play. All right, now that I'm on play, I have the character here. So if I move, I jump. All right, now I'm gonna press escape, and it's not working. Oh, I know why it's not working. And that's because I never actually assigned the condition. That was my bad. So condition, I'm gonna say run conditions, and I'm gonna drag this over here. Now it should work. So I'll save, play again. All right, let's see. Escape, and sure enough, resume. If I click there, it should resume. Perfect. So now if I do jump and pause, it paused right away. Click on resume. Perfect. And that is pretty much how you use the Pause UI. Now, if you want, and you can probably stop watching this video now if you wanted to, but I want to make this a little bit more complete by increasing this Pause UI to look a little bit better. So this looks ugly. I'm going to go to 2D. I'm going to select the overlay F. All right. So it looks better. Now I have this Fantasy UI from the store. I believe it's free if I'm not mistaken. If it isn't, then sorry, you can use any UI that you want. So I'm going to keep this button, but I'm going to change the sprite to something more akin to a button. So sure, let's do this blue button. Does it look good? It looks decent. All right. I'm going to change this to be 300 by 50, maybe by 60. I'm going to change the font of this to be maybe a little bit bigger, like 30. Yeah, it looks better. I'm going to change this font as well. Do I have any fonts here? Yeah, there's some fonts. Let's try this one. Oh, that looks a little bit better. Good. So that's great. All right, so I am going to make here quick empty, and this empty I'm gonna say just go ahead and shift tab, do it like that, maybe a little bit thicker, maybe about 300. So yeah, perfect, 300. And I'm gonna drop the button in there. I am going to make this a container, and I'm going to add here the vertical layout group. So the button is now all the way to the top. I'm going to say middle center arrangement, expand the kids, control the width, don't force to expand. Actually, you know what, force to expand, but don't force to expand here. So if I clone this button, yeah, it goes right underneath. Perfect. So middle center, and then this button, it's gonna be options, and then another one for quit. Perfect. So the quit one, I'm going to change the color so it's more like a red color. Perfect. It's not perfect, but it'll do. I'm going to type in quit. The options, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to type options. Looks good. Perfect. Okay. All right. That looks a little bit better. All right. I'm going to create another container. Create. This one I'm going to have it on the middle, but I'm going to have it with a very specific size. Quit pop-up, and I'm gonna set it to maybe 300 by, you know what, let's do it 500 by 300 perhaps. Yeah, that looks better. I'm gonna create here two buttons, so I'm actually gonna copy this button and options button for now. So Control D, drag and drop, and then I'm gonna hide this container for a second. So this one, I'm actually gonna clamp it to, why is it not selecting? This one, I'm going to clamp it to the bottom right, and the quit, I'm gonna clamp it to the bottom left. Perfect. I'm gonna make these buttons just a little bit smaller, maybe about 150. No, it's too small. Let's do them a little bit bigger, about, yeah, about that, 240. So 240, it's perfect. Okay, so also here I'm gonna add a text. Where is game creator? You know what? We can just add a regular text. So text mesh pro. Let's not add text mesh pro. It's asking us for this extra data that I don't want to add. Let's just add legacy text. So we can go here, legacy text, and then this legacy text, we're going to put it just on top of here. Let's message, and do you want to quit? All right, we're going to change some of these. So here we're going to say this is the no option. This is the yes option. This is important to give some options there. I'm going to change this text so that it uses the same font that we use for the other item. We're going to change it so that it's maybe, yeah, sure, size 50 is fine. I'm going to change this so that it is more full screen here. Good, oops, and I'm gonna center it and center it. And on the bottom, I'm actually going to offset this by just as much as the buttons are, so that would be about 60. So it's perfectly centered. Excellent. Something else that I would like to do is on maybe on top of this, as a parent of this, maybe I'll add another game entry. I'm gonna do the same thing, full screen, and then just about 60 up. So this one would be 0, 0, 0, and 0. And then on top of this one, so I'm gonna add an image. Let's change that image for something more like a banner would work. Yeah, sure, why not? It's not great, but it works. Okay. So now that we have that, let's change the labels on here. So no and yes. We're also going to change this one. So if it's yes, instead of doing that, or actually, you know what? Why not? Let's unpause the game and also quit the application. So it does both things at the same time, just in case we want to go back or do something else in here. And then the no option, we'll remove this. We'll do set active. And then we're going to clone it right away. And we're going to uncheck this. We'll bring the container down to activate this one and the pop-up to be deactivated. So that way when we click on no, it just hides this option and makes the container the default. There's something else that I want to do, and it's have some control over the overlay. I'll create a trigger here so that when this is enabled, everything else active, so here, everything else that is not container will be disabled. So I'll uncheck this and then container pop-up quit. We can do the same thing for options so that when we click on options, it actually automatically opens up an options menu. For now, we'll just keep this. So here, set active, and then clone it, uncheck this one, because you want to show the item before you disable your container. Otherwise, if you disable this before you have this one displayed, then what's going to happen is it will just stop right there. It won't show you the message. So if I go back again, I'll just click on play. I should have much prettier pause screen. So jump, pause, perfect. Options is not going to do anything. Resume is just simply going to resume. So let me jump again, pause. If I click on quit, it's going to ask me, do you really want to quit? And I say yes, and it just pauses the game. And that is pretty much it. Again, I can still go on and add more data to the options. That is for another time, maybe. If you want to see that expanded, just let me know in the comments. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching and have an awesome day.